Welcome to the Diamond Mind Transformation Radio Show with your host, Greg Dwyer, on Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check out Greg by clicking on the Diamond Mind Transformation Radio Show link on buildingfortunesradio.com. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. You can go to the Diamond Mind Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio directly by going to www.buildingfortunesradio.com/Greg Dwyer. Greg Dwyer is a successful pastor, business owner, sales trainer, and lifestyle coach. Greg's early passion for magic adds to his effectiveness in training others. Greg has trained and coached thousands of people in his career, and you're in for a treat when you work with Greg. Whether you're taking his NLP training or going on a Diamond Mind Transformation travel tour on another continent, you'll enjoy Greg's effective technique. Check out his website on www.gregdwyer.com. And now on to our show with Greg Dwyer. Take it away, Greg.
Hi, everyone. It's Greg Dwyer, and it's August 13th. I have a special guest tonight, Doug O'Brien. So I'm so excited that he's on the call. I'm going to be talking about hypnosis, going to talk about NLP and some of the plans that he's got for this fall, which I'm very excited for. First of all, a shout-out to the good people at Benchmark Senior Living at Split Rock. Down in Shelton. Yesterday, I was able to speak with the residents for about an hour. Yesterday, we had a fabulous time. As I was walking out of the door, one of the persons that works for Benchmark said that I had held them in the palm of my hand, and he has never seen such a positive response. So we had a lot of fun, and I want to thank Teresa, who brought me in. She is the director of residential life. She also had me come in and speak to the staff last month as well, and it was wonderful. So if you ever have a need for independent living, check out Benchmark Senior Living. They're in Shelton, Connecticut. So my guest tonight is Doug O'Brien, and I have to tell you a little introduction of how I discovered him. It was interesting. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was down in Florida at a convention, and I happened to be having dinner, and all of a sudden, I'm just sitting there all by myself, and I hear somebody mention the word NLP. And my ears, just peeked up, and I looked around. I'm like, excuse me, and I actually said to the woman next to me, what are you talking about? Did you say NLP? And she said, yeah. She goes, Richard Bandler is in town, which if you know anything about hypnosis or know anything about NLP, Richard Bandler and also John Grinder were foundational in that study and that discipline. Come to find out, he was like walking distance a block away at a hotel. The next morning, I went to the seminar, explained that I was only in town for a day or so, and they let me sit in for about an hour and a half. And I mentioned that I was looking for someone in the New York area, and they recommended this man, Doug O'Brien. And there's more to the story. In fact, I want to read a quote. There are only a handful of people in the country whom I have personally trained and am totally confident in recommending. Doug O'Brien is one of these few. And who said that? Anthony Robbins. So, without further ado, Doug, thank you so much for being on our podcast tonight.
I'm very happy to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah, we are live at 5, and this is actually being broadcasted live all over the country, going to be on iTunes and also a replay. So I'm excited. So what have you been up to? I know you're into changing people's lives. What's your focus this summer, this fall? What have you been doing?
Well, to tell you the truth, Greg, I've been fairly focused at home. I'm writing a book now, my second book, I suppose, actually. I did that User's Guide to Sleight of Mouth a few years ago, but now I'm writing a book on storytelling. So I've been keeping my nose to the grindstone a bit, although I do have some courses coming up in the fall. Right now I've been kind of keeping my nose to the old proverbial grindstone, as it were.
Yeah. Now I know every year you do a workshop, right, on storytelling with your friend. What do you do in Scotland, or where are you doing it?
Well, we do it twice a year. Once in Leeds, England, which is where my colleague Nick Kemp is from. So we do it in his backyard, and then we do it here in New York City.
Wow.
So he comes over here, I go there. It's kind of fun, yeah.
Wow, outstanding. And I do have your Sleight of Mouth book. Is that the book that you were referring to earlier?
Yeah, the User's Guide to Sleight of Mouth is a little book I wrote about that persuasion skill taken from the field of NLP.
Yes, absolutely love that book. I read the founder's book. Was it Robert Dilts? Do I have that right name?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Robert.
Yeah, I read his book, and I just kind of fell into it. It's a deep book in the sense that you can just fall asleep, maybe. I loved it, and then I actually loved yours better. And I remember telling you that a few years later. We could probably spend the next 2 hours just talking about sleight of mouth. But can you kind of give us a shortcut, a brief understanding of it? I love the concept of magic, and when you talk about sleight of mouth and persuasion, it just hooks me. But for the people that are brand new and don't know anything about it, how would you explain sleight of mouth?
Well, it's interesting because a friend of mine who's written several books said that's a terrible title because the way when he hears that, he thinks it's like trickery. You're